Images which may be found disturbing and may not be suitable for your snotty-nosed little brat who probably cusses like a sailor behind your back anyway. Parental discretion is advised.
Daddy, I'm coming to see you at visiting hours next week. Mama ain't been doing too well, I'll tell you more when we speak. And Billy's loving high school. He's out there blocking for JV. I'm sure he's gonna come around by the time you give a list. It's Friday night, the inmates go quiet. Listen for a voice they know. It's prison.
It's time to holler down the pipe chase and rattle them bars, because we're going to do a prison show for you right here at beautiful old, historic old, exciting new KPFT Houston, from the heart of Montrose, where we all hope tomorrow will be a better day.
Dreams, I can see your freedom. I will hold you once more. The men with no visitors, no money on the books. Remember, David's always gonna be here. You're never so alone. This ain't my love. It's Friday night, the inmates go quiet. Listen for a voice they know. It's prison radio. Prison radio.
And welcome to the Prison Show. Happy New Year. It is January the 5th, and of course, it's a Friday. And before we begin, I wanted to give a big shout out to a Joel on the WIN unit who is excited. He listens to the Prison Show. So, hey, Joel. Just wanted to give you a big shout out at the WIN unit. So tonight, David has a great show lined up for us. But we have, of course, we have David here. I'm here. We have Alex here doing the phones. We have Marcus and Stephanie doing the cameras. Linda and I will be doing the shout outs later. And we have Micki Rodriguez in the house with Taj. So we have a lot of people here tonight, and we're loving it. We are loving it. Hope everyone had a great, happy New Year. Hope y'all saw some fireworks going off outside. I know y'all can't pop any. Well, I don't think they can. Maybe you can. I saw a video earlier that I was like, what? What? So, Happy New Year, guys. Let's hope that 2024 will bring happiness, love, and fun. How about some fun? I'll throw some fun in there, too. And I'm going to be drinking some fruit punch because my biggest fan sent me a fruit punch electrolyte. Yes, he did. And an
You gonna
orange.
spike it?
I may spike it. You never know. But he's
Happy New Year.
yeah, Happy New Year. Yeah. So tonight David has a great show lined up for us. We have Gary Cohen, the principal lawyer on the Cohen Parole law team. Like I said, Micki Rodriguez. She's the criminal justice organizer for Texas Advocates for Justice, or TAJ. We have Brittany Robertson. Woohoo, Brittany! Love Brittany, Director of Incarcerated Support and Ad-Seg Specialist with TPCA and Texas Prison Reform Activist. I'm sure she's got some good news. And we have A. Bonowitz, the co-director and founder at Death Penalty. So we have a great show for you tonight. And I do believe Gary Cohen's on line one.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Cohen. How are you? Or Gary. I'm sorry. Gary.
It is Gary. Absolutely. I'm doing great, Dani. Thanks so much. And a happy New Year's to you and Dave and all the other unsung heroes who keep this wonderful program alive.
Yes, and there's quite a few, and we appreciate everyone, and we appreciate you too, Gary.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. The last time that I was on, I think, Dani, you and I kind of ended up talking about lawyers who were maybe less than reliable or desirable to engage in the parole process. Is that ring a bell with you?
It rang. Yes, that bell's ringing. That bell is ringing.
Well, I want to let you know, and Dave, that after that show, I got a number of letters and phone calls asking me about parole consultants and parole lawyers and how to go about finding one and deciding on one. So I thought if that made sense tonight to kind of talk about that, that's what I'd spend my time on.
That makes great sense, and I'd appreciate it.
Well, good. Well, then, let me just start off by making a distinction. Parole consultants are not the same thing as parole lawyers. In order to represent an individual before the Board of Pardons and Paroles for a fee, you have to be a lawyer licensed in Texas to practice law. So anyone who holds themselves out as a parole advisor or as a prison consultant or a parole consultant, they cannot actually represent the offender before the board. They provide kind of packaged services, and a lot of them are less than honorable people, and they're certainly not governed by any kind of rules. You know, if there's any recourse if you're dissatisfied or if they don't provide services. So the first thing that people should be aware of is whether or not they're talking and seeking out the services of a lawyer or if they're talking to a consultant. Now, I know that a lot of folks can't afford legal services. That's why they're in prison to begin with sometimes, is because of ineffective counsel that was court appointed that didn't attention to them. So I understand where the consultants come into play, you know, in terms of folks looking around for services that will help their loved ones that they can afford. And if they can't afford the services of a lawyer, what they ought to do is seek out help from reputable organizations like TIFA and other prison and family support groups who have been around a long time. Their services are free. They're good people. They've been around the block. They're going to be there forever. And they offer good advice, better advice sometimes than these parole consultants. So if you can't afford the services of a lawyer, look at these organizations like TIFA, and there's several others that are very well known. If you're going to look to hire a lawyer, there's a couple of caveats and a couple of things that I'd alert folks to. First of all, do your homework, okay? Get on that lawyer's website and take a look at how long they've been in business. Take a look at what they practice, what areas they practice in. If you go on a website and you see that a lawyer does some divorce work and he does a little criminal work and, you know, he does some wills and some estate, and he also does some parole work, well, that's what my daddy always referred to as a jack of all trades. And you know what they say about a jack of all trades,
Master of none.
master of none. Yes, ma'am. So beware of folks who do a little of this and a little of that. There's been a lot more lawyers who have gotten into parole representation lately, but that doesn't mean that they know what they're doing. So do your homework. Go on the website first and educate yourself with their bios and stuff. Go to some of the chat rooms, and there's lots of those chat rooms available where people are able to share their thoughts and their experiences with other lawyers. So take a look at those chat rooms and see what people are talking about and saying about their experiences with, so-and-so or this person or that person. One of the first questions and most common questions that I usually get when people call me and they're looking around, the first question is, what is your approval win rate? What are your percentages? And that is really not a question that's going to get you any kind of good information about how to make a decision about lawyer A or lawyer B. Every case is individual and unique. I don't care if it's the same crime that's charged. The individual who got involved in that has a different life story. So first of all, no case can be compared to another case. There's no apples to apples. Number two, if you think about it, when you ask that question, you're talking to me as a stranger. You don't know me from Adam. And you're asking me a question where I have a self-interest in, of course, looking at business. So I'm not going to tell you, well, I only win, 5% of my cases. There's an expectation that the client or the caller wants to hear, this boastfulness, I win 68%, I win 75%, I've never lost a case in my life. How do you verify that? Why would you trust that? And what does that mean to you? If I tell you, that I've won 60% of my cases, but I've only handled 4 cases in my lifetime, that doesn't tell you a whole lot about my expertise. And of course, being a lawyer, I cannot tell you other clients that have used my services because of confidentiality. So there's really no way you can verify that. So don't even go there. It gives lawyers who are less than honorable, who don't have integrity, it gives them the opportunity to make boastless claims that you can't verify, and that's not how you want to make a choice. The first red flag that ought to get your attention is whether or not you can get that lawyer on the phone and talk to him or her, or whether you're only dealing with a secretary or a paralegal. If you can't get that lawyer on the phone and have a conversation with the lawyer, scratch them off your list. Because if they're not going to talk to you at the front end, they're not going to talk to you once they got your money in their pocket. All right? Now, we all have paralegals that help us and that do initial intakes and take our messages. But what I'm talking about is once that initial information is given to the office of the lawyer, first of all, you have to get a call back from that lawyer personally within a day or two. And if that lawyer won't call you back, as I said, scratch them off the list. It's not a good sign. If you go to a doctor and you can't see the doctor ever, you're not going to be comfortable receiving medical treatment when you can't ever put eyes on or talk to the provider. Same thing with the legal system. No lawyer should be too busy or too self-absorbed not to spend their time and to take their time talking to you and listening to you about your loved one's situation. Ask the lawyer questions about how long they've been in practice, how long they've gotten, they've been doing parole work, for instance. Ask questions about whether they will personally visit with or communicate with your loved one, or whether they're just going to do all of their work by sending in questions and never talking to the person and listening to his or her story. Talk about the lawyer to where you get a feel for whether or not they're just running through their business like a mechanic, fixing a car, or whether they have a real, genuine human interest in what's going on. And if the lawyer has a really genuine human drive and a passion about what they're doing. Talk to them about what their approach would be. What is their analysis in a case? If the lawyer, being, quote, a trained professional, can't tell you how they analyze a case or how they would think it through or what the options may be in your loved one's situation, if they can't lay those kind of different things on the table, then they're not thinking about what they do for a living. If they can't articulate it to you, if they just say, oh, well, we're going to investigate the case and we're going to send in letters and we're going to tell the parole board about what good people they are. Well, you don't need a lawyer for that. All you need is a 48-cent stamp and a phone call for the board. So make sure that lawyer, when you make those calls, is going to connect with you, is going to spend time with you. Because if they're not going to spend time with you again at the front end, don't expect any attention on the back end. A lot of lawyers do have testimonials published on their websites. Those are usually reliable. But again, do your research. It's a very personal relationship between the lawyer and the client. It has to be a working relationship. It can't just be the lawyer saying, oh, don't worry about it. I've talked to you for 30 minutes and I'll take the ball and I'll call you a year from now before we're ready to make our pitch to the board. It's there ought to be more of a team approach in my mind about dealing with a matter that is so essential to the caller's life, to their future, and to freedom. I mean, because that's what it's all about. Sometimes we all talk to people, maybe we don't like. We don't like the sound of their voice. We don't like the way they respond. We judge people in different ways. Make those judgments when you're doing your research. Talk to different lawyers. Get a feel for a different approach. Get a feel for the individual, because you're going to be putting a lot of trust in that person, and you want to make sure that trust is justified and warranted.
Well, Gary, unfortunately, we just have a little while left, and I want to make sure that your address is put out there so you can get some more letters.
Well, okay. My name, of course, is Gary Cohen. I've been practicing parole law in Texas for over 30 years. The address is 600 West 9th Street, Austin, Texas. Our phone number is 512-476-6200. 01. And you can also go to our website. It's very simple. It's parolelaw.com.
And what is that zip code over at your...
The zip code in Austin is 78701.
All right. Well, thank you, Gary. I look forward to... You gave me a lot of good information. I've hired an attorney before, and you gave me some good... I wish I would have had it before, and I appreciate it very much.
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity, and I hope the conversation was helpful. And God bless y'all, and be well, stay safe, and keep doing the great work that y'all are doing.
All right. Well, thank you, Gary. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And now we have Micki Rodriguez. She is with Tosh. How you doing?
Doing well, thank you.
Is her mic on? Maybe. Yeah, now it is.
Hi. It's good to be here. Thank you for having me.
So, what do you have? I know that we were talking earlier before the show, and you were very passionate. So, tell everybody about Care,
Not Cages.
Care Not Cages.
Yeah. So, So thank you for having me again. My name is Micki Rodriguez. My pronouns are she, her, ella, and I just stepped into this criminal justice organizer position just recently within the last couple of months. We will be relaunching our Care Not Cages campaign this year. So for those who have been members of Texas Advocates for Justice, this is something that we've been working on since I want to say 2019. We had a report that was released in 2018, and the report was called Care Not Cages. And so what that report focused on was the disparities in arrests, in bookings in Harris County jails. So there was a lot of data that showed that Black people are more likely to be arrested, more likely to be pulled over, more likely to be arrested and booked. There are certain charges that they're more likely to be booked with. And so this came, the Care Not Cages campaign started, I believe, I want to say it was 2020 or 2021, where there was a few members who got together and wanted to, see some type of policy change that could actually reduce the jail population. Because, as some people know that for a number of years, for as long as I can remember, honestly, the jails have been overcrowded. And so in recent years, they have been starting to outsource people to different states even. Just within the past few months, there was $11 million that was approved for yet another facility in the state of Mississippi to start sending more of our loved ones from Harris County Jail to Mississippi. And so what the originally Care Not Cages focused on was wanting to find other solutions instead of incarceration, and so wanting to divert funds away from, carceral solutions to non-carceral solutions such as mental health programs, housing solutions, better job opportunities, and things of that nature. And so, COVID and lots of things that kind of got in the way that we weren't really, it was really hard to organize during those times.
Absolutely.
And then we also had a focus in the past on, there was a cite and release program that we tried to sort of uplift.
Now, what was that again?
Cite and release.
Okay.
And so the city of Houston had put together, there was a list of low-level offenses that you could, if someone was pulled over and they would be just issued a citation instead of booked for. And so What we were trying to advocate for more use of that program, but what we quickly realized is that a lot of the charges were paired with other charges that did not fall under that list, and so they would still be booked anyways. And so we actually went to the cite and release court a couple of times, and when we went, there was like literally nobody there. I mean, we went and there was maybe like one or two people who were on the docket, and the program just wasn't being used enough. And then, like I said, there was just other charges that were being filed along with those that disqualified people from the cite and release program. And so we've been through a lot of different stages of this campaign. But I think that what we're recognizing, I think the main focus that we really want that, most of our members are concerned with is the overcrowding in the jails. And so we've just been trying to figure out ways, what are the policy solutions to that? And so, like I mentioned, there have been a number of times where the Commissioner's Court, which is, the Harris County Commissioner's Court that's in charge of all the funding, they have approved again and again and again funding to expand, what they call outsourcing. And even just that term outsourcing is so dehumanizing when you're referring to our loved ones. I mean, these are people that we're talking about. And when we often talk about the numbers. Harris County Jail has a capacity of 10,000 people. And with these other facilities, there's more than 10,000 people on any given day that are, confined in the system. And so that's a number, but it's more than just numbers. Those are human beings, those are individuals. And for every one of those people, there are people like us who care about them, that are also in some ways incarcerated alongside with them. And so instead of spending millions of our taxpayer dollars locking people up, which we know does not reduce crime. If anything, we've seen in 2022, there was 28 total deaths in Harris County Jail. In 2023, I think there were 17 or 18 deaths. So not only does it not reduce crime, but it's actually a public health hazard. I mean, it's a threat to public safety where people are losing their lives in the jail. So that's, I think, what we really want to focus kind of in this upcoming year is what are the policy solutions to reducing the jail population. In 2020, there was the county spent, I don't know what the dollar amount is, but they spent a lot of money on a report, JMI, Justice Management, I forget what it stands for, but they did a report where they recommended dismissing all low-level offenses cases that are older than 9 months to help with the case backlog. And so that would free up a lot of resources to focus on the more violent, cases. And so that was a recommendation that was completely ignored. The district attorney said that it was something that couldn't be done. And so we
gotta love her. Sarcasm, people, sarcasm.
Right. So that's, we really want our members to get involved and to come to our meetings. So speaking of, we do have our first general body meeting of the year coming up this Monday, 7 p.m. At our grassroots leadership office in 5th Ward. So that's 4407 New Orleans Street. That's in Houston, 020. And so
77020.
yes, okay. 7 p.m. on Monday, January 8th.
Can they also write to you there?
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
Yeah, they can send us mail there as well. Yeah, so we're just, and they can hit us up on our social media. They can go to our website, grassrootsleadership.org, and sign up for our newsletter there. Sign up to attend all of our events. We post all of our events on our website that they can sign up to register to attend. But we're inviting folks to come and be part of the campaign, come contribute, come testify at Commissioner's Court with us if you have a loved one who is incarcerated in Harris County Jail.
All right. Well, we appreciate you coming here, and we'll be looking. I hope. What was that address again? 4407 New Orleans Street, Houston 77020. We appreciate you being here.
All right. Thank you very much for having me.
And now we have, I think, is it Brittany? It's time for Brittany on line 2. Hey, Brittany.
Hey, how's it going?
I was looking forward to your segment. Go ahead, girl. What you got?
So, since I was on last, that report from the Texas Civil Rights Project on solitary confinement came out. It's titled A Crisis with No End. And that primarily examines solitary confinement within Texas, but also encompassing a lot of the other issues existing in general population and system-wide, really. And through our work with them and kind of networking and reaching out to people, we've gained the interest of Benjamin Crump's law firm. I'm not sure if too many people are familiar with him, but he represented George Floyd's family, among many others, and it is because of the incarcerated individuals in the Texas prisons who are filling out those grievances and those I-60s, and they're collecting that paper trail that it helps us build this foundation so that when these lawyers do reach out and they ask, well, what have you got going on as far as what's happening in your prisons? What kind of lawsuits are you looking for? We're able to hand them the grievances on the heat and the medical complaints at that time and how long it took to get to medical in that heat. You're building a foundation for a strong case, and there is nothing a lawyer will appreciate more than somebody who has done their due diligence. So right now we're going through files and organizing and picking out some cases for them to preview. But the thought behind all of this really is if it wasn't for everybody on the inside working and doing what they can within their own power to do, the I-60s and the grievances being the first steps, it makes advocating for them out here so much easier. And then on top of that, anything that we're not able to resolve with the system, if that gets escalated to a lawyer or legal professional, that's the solid case that we can hand them that will get their attention. When I hand them an idea or an interest in something and I don't have my facts straight, I don't look credible. But if inside the units they can build that evidence and they can prepare. Right now, with Crump's interest and all the deaths we've had over this summer, there's so many families that are still waiting on justice and they're not sure of what steps they can take. And, I know Chris Carter's trying to switch things into a new direction and a better future for everyone, but we still have a whole lot of injustice that's occurred that we haven't talked about yet. And that's one of the things I want to bring out for the incarcerated.
Yeah, because right now summer's just a few months away because it starts getting hot fairly soon in Texas, and so we may end up having the same situation again.
Yes, absolutely, and that's one of the things I've started to prepare the Texas prison reform team with, is making sure people have their PHI forms signed. In case of a medical emergency, you have to have somebody on the outside who can call and have you checked on, or if there's an emergency like that, and having that form signed is essential. So getting all these things in order and preparing for them now is a huge step in the right direction for ensuring everybody's rights are protected equally.
Yes, and it's important to note that that form is now good for 2 years, so you don't have to do it every 6 months, which is good. But yeah, get that form in. And what you were saying about the grievances, I have a friend, well, Don, he's the one that, got it in my head about mass grieving. And, one person, if you have several people on that section grieving it, it makes it easier for us trying to fight for something.
Yep, absolutely. And, a lot of that is the fear of retaliation is why they don't want to do the grievances, or, some people take it as snitching. And I'm just questioning at this point, when people around them are passing away, who exactly are you protecting at this point? And as far as not wanting to draw heat or attention to yourself, if there's so many people filing on the same issues at the same time, the people in Huntsville are going to notice. The guards are going to understand that they're not going to get away with lying to their rank and saying they can't do something when there's 12 people that have their eyes on them that know that they could have. It's just a matter of coming forward and stepping up and speaking to people about the issues that are happening, because without documenting those issues and having people who are willing to admit that this is an issue, and until we do something about it, all the other things that happen because of it, such as the violence, a little bit of communication and a lot of effort can go a long way in changing circumstances.
Absolutely. And I know a lot of people like to call the units and speak directly to them, but there's nothing that they hate more than a paper trail. They like to say, I never talked to you. That's not what we said. Oh, but I have it written. That's why we need to email. People out here need to email, just like people on the inside need to file grievances. Anything in writing cannot be denied.
Right. No, that is gold. And I mean, there's no greater feeling than to see a step 2 grievance mentioned in a Wall Street Journal article on how it was not responded to for months later.
Amen.
That man may not have gotten his medical care when it was due to him, or when the taxpayers' payments say it should have been given to him. But for that man to now understand that hundreds of people seen that he was denied adequate care, there is some justice in that.
There is. There's definitely justice in that. Now, Brittany, how can, before we go, how can people get a hold of you?
Okay, so the best place to get a hold of me for what we talked about today would be at the Texas Prison Community Advocates P.O. Box, which is P.O. Box 1974, Fulton, Fulton, Texas 78358. So Texas Prison Community Advocate, P.O. Box 1974, Fulton, Texas 78358.
Okay, I thought you were going to give me your weird city. What's the name of your city?
Oh, the one in Wisconsin, Kaukauna.
Kaukauna, yeah. I was like, she's going to give me that weird city again. When you're moving down here, Brittany?
It should be in under a year. I'll get a finalized date any day now, really.
Woohoo! All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Brittany, you have it. I look forward to all the information you give us. And when you told me today about Mr. Crumb, I was like, what? What? Yeah.
Yeah, I was caught aback, but there's interest, and he's seen a lot on the news. Of course, we all have. So I'm hoping we can get some stuff done about it.
Yeah, I do too. I hope we can. Well, Brittany, thank you so much for calling. And we look forward to the next time you're on. And when you move, we look forward to that too.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you guys so much for everything.
Thank you, Brittany.
All right. Bye.
Bye bye. All right, now I see we have Abe. Abe is the co director and founder of Death Penalty Action. You left a word out, but Abe is on line 1.
Well, hey everybody, how you doing tonight?
Doing good. Happy New Year.
Well, Happy New Year, and we've got a lot of things to look forward that could be good this year, and things that should be troubling us all as well. We've got a lot of work to do. So grateful to be with you all tonight. Any questions? Anything you want to make sure I get before I get into what I've got ready for you?
No, sir. You go right on ahead.
All right. Well, I'm grateful for the opportunity, and also grateful that you all gave me a pass. And my colleague Ari Sullivan was on a few weeks ago in my place while I was out of the country doing a little bit of research with Rick Halpern. Actually, many of you might know him as one of the leading death penalty experts in the world. He's also one of the leading Holocaust experts, and he takes students on a trip to Poland to visit the Nazi death camps and examine all of that. And that's been on my bucket list for a long time. 2 of my grandparents are from Poland, and I went to see the communities that they were from. But I mention all this because, one of the things that I came to understand a lot better is the level of experimentation and trial and error that the Nazis went through as they how to murder people more efficiently. And that's important because we're seeing more and more of that in our country. I'm going to talk about that in a moment, but first, just a couple of quick updates. We had, unfortunately, the first suicide on death row in the federal death row in decades. Odell Corley was put out in the yard in an exercise pen on December 1st and figured out that he had the opportunity to take his own life, and he did so after expressing a number of times to other prisoners that he was in some deep depression. And there's a lot of anxiety going on right now with the federal death row prisoners as well because of the popularity of Donald Trump as the potential Republican candidate. Who knows what's going to go on. If you weren't paying attention in the last 6 months of the Trump administration, he became the most executing president since Roosevelt. 13 executions in the final 6 months of his term, and that's, Roosevelt had 16 executions over 13 years. So this, of course, should be of concern to anybody who is opposed to the federal death penalty and the federal government having the power to execute people. Joe Biden, a lot of people are giving him a lot of guff because, he ran on a campaign platform to abolish the federal death penalty. And I will say, I wish he has done more. But what he did do is he appointed an attorney general who is not setting execution dates by the federal government, and that's not going to happen. And they have backed off on a number of federal death penalty prosecutions, although they are maintaining them for terrorism type cases and mass shooting type cases. Although we're waiting to see whether they seek a death sentence in the case of the shooter in Buffalo. The interesting thing about that case is all the victims, or most of the victims, were black. That was in a grocery store, you might remember. And this is in contrast to the guy that went off to El Paso just to murder people of Mexican descent in a mass shooting in the Walmart there. And, of course, they didn't even seek the death penalty for him. There was another guy last year that was on trial who rented a truck and drove it down a bike path in New York City, and they sought the death penalty for him, and the jury did not come back with death. And then, of course, there was the guy that shot up the synagogue in Pittsburgh, and he did get a federal death sentence. So all of this is kind of on the radar and in the background, and we have to see what happens next. I believe that President Biden, if it comes down to it, once he's lame duck, he'll commute all the death sentences, and that's the campaign that we're building. On the webpage of Death Penalty Action, there is an opportunity to send a letter to the president and also to your members of Congress. And you don't have to be a citizen. You don't have to be 18. If you live in the United States, you can send a letter to the members of Congress, because Joe Biden can't unilaterally abolish the federal death penalty. He can only sign a bill that comes to him from Congress. So Congress has to pass that bill. We've got legislation that's been introduced, the Federal Death Penalty Prohibition Act, and people need to contact your members of Congress, and you can do so right off the top of the front page of deathpenaltyaction.org. So I wanted to mention that. Again, our condolences go out to Odell Corley and his family and friends on the federal death row, and just keep everybody there in your prayers as they continue in their anxiety. We have let's just say some good news here, sort of, and that is in Oklahoma. We were supposed to have an execution in Oklahoma Federal on February 1st, James Ryder, and that has been stayed for at least 100 days. He was supposed to have a clemency hearing this coming week, and that's been put off because the lawyers have been successful in getting our court to agree to look at the question of his mental capacity, his mental health. There's a lot of questions about his sanity. So that execution is off the table. The next execution that's scheduled, of course, in Texas is Ivan Cantu on February 28th. But before that, and this is the big deal, well, I'll mention this in a moment, I do want to note that we're also watching very carefully in Mississippi, where the Attorney General in Mississippi has basically declared that as soon as the courts let it happen, they're going to seek a death sentence, set a date for Willie Manning, who has a strong innocence claim, and also Robert Simon. And in Mississippi, apparently they can technically set a date and carry it out within a couple of days. And so we're all watching to see what happens on that. Of course, we've got petitions up in those cases and many others at deathpenaltyaction.org that people could sign. So I mentioned all that, and then back to where I started with the whole question of experimentation to figure out how do we better kill our prisoners. And I want to say straight up, it is Death Penalty Action's position that it really doesn't matter how we kill our prisoners. And the problem is that we're killing our prisoners when the system is as screwed up as it is. Carved into the face of the U.S. Supreme Court building are the words equal justice under law. And anybody that has had any kind of encounter with our legal system knows that we do not have equal justice under law. That is a lofty goal that we have to keep working towards, but it's not what we have, and that's why we can't trust government with the power to kill. So in any case, we're now looking at a situation where they're going to try and use a new form of execution, nitrogen hypoxia, which we think is a friendly way of saying the gas chamber. It's not going to be an actual room filled with gas, but what they're planning to do on January 25th with a guy named Kenny Smith in Alabama is put a mask on his face and pump him full of nitrogen gas. And there's a lot of questions about this. The protocol about how they're going to do this has been put forth, heavily redacted. There's a lot of challenges happening. There's, Reverend Dr. Jeff Hood is his spiritual advisor. He's had to sign a waiver saying that he understands the risk that if something goes wrong and the gas gets, leaks out beyond the mask, it could potentially kill him too and other corrections officers, and what we know about Alabama is that they are very, let's just say, shoddy in how they run their practices. So, so this is a big thing that a lot of people are watching. The United Nations Human Rights Commission has just issued a press release about this a couple of days ago, raising a number of concerns around the use of gas. Of course, many folks in the Jewish community, given the history of the use of gas to murder millions of people in the gas chambers of Nazi Germany, seeing this as, just something that touches us a little bit differently than most. I say that as a Jewish person, as co-founder of a group called L'Chaim, which means to life, Jews Against the Death Penalty. So that's a piece of the puzzle. Of course, you also have to understand that part of why they're doing this is because Kenny Smith was on the gurney in November 2022, and for hours they poked him with needles and they cut him and tried to establish an IV line and failed to do so and ran out of time. And he wasn't the first. There was another guy in September of 2022 that they also sent back to his cell after poking him and slicing him and trying to basically torture him for hours, thinking he's about to be executed. They ran out of time. And of course, the first incidence of that was with Joe James Jr. in July 2022, where, again, they held the media outside for a couple of hours, and when they finally brought the media in, he was already unconscious, and we knew that he had a final statement he wanted to give. So, it just really screwed up in Alabama. Now, since then, they've been able to get at least one lethal injection done. But the point is that now they're going to try nitrogen hypoxia. It's never been used before anywhere in the country. There's only a couple other states that allow it. Oklahoma is one. There's another one. But Alabama's going to try it. And all eyes are on Alabama. And that's why we're working very closely with our friends, Project Hope to Abolish the Death Penalty, which is actually the board of directors of Project Hope to Abolish the Death Penalty. I think this is the only organization in the country like this. The board of directors are all on death row. They've got people outside that, manage their things, but the guys that call the shots are the men on death row in Alabama. And that's the organization there. We're working hand in hand with them and dozens of other Alabama organizations to get as many petition signatures as we can. We've got 3 petitions, one for Kenny Smith, one about the gas chamber, one about the campaign that we started called Pull Back the Curtains, in which we're advocating for, if they're going to have executions, that they need to make sure that the public and the media witnesses are watching from the moment that the prisoner is brought into the death chamber, not from when they get them all hooked up and then they open up the curtains, but before then, because they've had so many problems getting it established and getting them ready for execution. We know they tortured Joe James Jr. We know they tortured Kenny Smith, and now they're gonna try it again with Kenny Smith, and that's coming up. So just be watching, because that's going to be a big deal. And especially if anybody is listening, or if you know people in Alabama or near Alabama, on the 23rd of January, we're going to have a big rally on the steps in front of the state capitol and hand deliver those petition signatures, which is why, again, we need everybody's help to get as many signatures as we can on those 3 petitions, so that when we deliver them, there's that much more impact. So those are the top level things that are happening. There's a lot more going on around the country. Again, Ohio and Pennsylvania have bills to abolish the death penalty in those states. In North Carolina, they've got a campaign to get the governor to commute all the death sentences there prior to the end of his term, a year from now. So much happening. We can fill you in more, in a couple of weeks when I come back. But there's a minute or 2 left here if anybody's got any questions.
Well, we need to get your address to make sure everyone has it.
Okay, well, you can write to us at P.O. Box 89. That's P.O. Box 89 in Ghent, G-H-E-N-T. I'll repeat that. G as in George, H-E-N as in Nancy, T. That's in New York. So Ghent, New York, P.O. Box 89, Ghent, New York, 12075. 12075. And, of course, the webpage is deathpenaltyaction.org. That's where you go to sign the petitions. That's where you go to watch the videos of all kinds of people like Roderick Reed and Charles Keith and Suzanne Bosler and Ron McAndrew and Rick Halprin and Lisa Brown, who's a Texan whose son was one of the people executed in the federal campaign. So maybe y'all can share a link on the Prison Show Facebook page about that, because those are really, they're just 5 minutes, and they're each really compelling, professionally made videos. Just one more educational tool that we all have. So, I want to wish everybody, all the best this year. We've got to do everything we can to stop these executions.
Absolutely. Thank you, Abe. We appreciate it. And, of course, we'll see you back here in 2 weeks.
Okay. Everybody had a good night. Thank you.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Weighted down by possessions, weighted down by the gun, weighted down by the river, for you to come. My darling, you're darning my action of when 3 months I was gone. But whose socks were you darning, darling, while I've been gone so long? Weighted down my possessions, weighted down by the gun, weighted down by the river, for you to come. Our best friend to your ear drew, said I was guilty of sin, said my being gone was the best thing for you. But the truth, it all comes through for me and my kid. It wasn't the best thing for me, but it was the best for him. Weighted down my decision, weighted down by the gun, weighted down by the river, for you to come. possession, weighted down by the gun, weighted down by the river, for you to come.
You're listening to KPFT Houston. And the Prison Show is provided by the Cohen Parole Law Team. For almost 40 years, Gary Cohen has helped to represent incarcerated individuals throughout Texas, obtain parole, and fight parole revocations. We protect those who have fallen short of perfection from the wrath of those who believe they have attained it. More information about Gary Cohen and his associates, Alan Bennett and Gene Anthus, can be found on their website at parolelaw.com. You may also contact them at 512-476-6201.
All right. And what song was that, David? David.
I was trying to look it up because I turned it off because I didn't want it playing in the background. You would have to ask me. It's called like Weighted Down.
Because that was very...
Yeah, well, he was like really sad and depressed, wasn't he?
Yeah. I was like, I'm going to take my headphones off.
It was actually called Weighted Down, the Prison Song. So he's like sad and depressed. And he actually says, whenever you have it out with your wife, don't go looking for another man's wife or something like that. So, I mean, he got in trouble, went to prison.
Really? You don't say.
Yeah, he was really sad.
Yes, he was. All right. Do you want to go ahead and do yours real quick? No? Okay. Let's go to Julie on line 4. Hey, Julie. Hey, Julie.
Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Okay. Yes, this is Julie. I was going to holler at and I got tongue tied. I wanted to holler out to Tommy Ray Tigg at the Micro Unit, and I wanted to tell him I loved him and I miss him, and I'm just thinking of him, and so I just wanted to tell him that I know there's things going on down there, but I just want to let him know, keep your head up, and I'm praying for you, and just keep your head up, and hopefully you'll be coming home soon. So you're in my prayers. I love you. I miss you. So
all right.
Have a good night. Sweet dreams.
All right. Well, thank you, Julie. Please call back next week, too.
Yes, I really appreciate y'all.
We appreciate you, too. And Happy New Year.
Okay. A Happy New Year to you. God bless y'all.
God bless you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay. Now, let me give the phone number first, 713-526-5738. Option number two for shout outs. So give us a call. And now we have Crystal Rodriguez on line 2. Hey, Crystal.
Hey, how are you?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm good.
And you are on the air, so go ahead with your shout out.
Okay, my shout out is to my boyfriend from the Micro Unit, from his girlfriend Crystal, from Hondo, Texas. I just want to tell him I love him, I love you, and I miss you. I know there's a lot of things going on in that unit right now, but just keep your head up high, and I love you. I can't wait to see you and come home soon to me. From your girlfriend Crystal from Hondo.
Yeah, we heard there's a lot of things going on at the Michael's unit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, I heard yesterday that there was 2 inmates that died yesterday from poison rats.
Poison what?
Poison rats.
Rats?
Yeah, there's rats in that facility.
So the rats were poisoned, and that's how the men died?
Yes, there were two people inmates, but they didn't mention the people's names.
Okay. Well, you know, it there's a lot of stuff going on at a lot of the units. So call back next week. And
Okay.
What's your loved one's name?
Terry Arnold.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Crystal.
Mm-hmm.
Happy New Year.
You too, and God bless you.
Same to you.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Now we're going to skip on over to Anjanette. Anjanette on line 3.
Hey, Dani.
Hey, how are you?
I'm nice and full. Me and my son just got back from Outback, so.
Oh, I love that place.
I know. It was super packed. We got there, and there was like an hour wait. I was like, I'll wait. I love Outback. So, yeah, we just got home. It is. It really is good. But I wanted to give a shout-out. Well, first of all, Dani and Linda and David and everyone at the prison show, Happy New Year.
And Happy New Year to you, too.
Thank you. I wanted to give a shout-out to my baby. Hi, baby. Will, Big Will, at Polensky on Life Row. I love you. I can't wait to see my face. I missed you, my love. It really feels like just yesterday that I seen you for the first time. It really does. It was brief, but lasted forever in my mind. And now here we are. We are here, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else but with you. You've made my life so wonderful, my love, and I just feel like the most powerful woman because you love me. Thank you so much, my love, for giving me something to look forward to every day with you. It's you, it's all for you, everything that I do. And I tell you all the time that heaven is a place on earth with you. I will always be by your side, my puffin. You and me, we're magic. I'm in love with you, baby, and I always will be, and I will see you tomorrow. Think about me, my love, because I'm thinking about you. I love you. God bless you. Pray for us, my love, and have a good night. I also want to give a few shout-outs to the guys on Life Row, and I want to wish them a Happy New Year. Blaine, Happiest New Year from the Big Bad Wolf. Happy New Year, Bubba. Happiest New Year to you, Bethel, Mark, Woody, Eric, Debo, and, of course, Kangaroo. And a very special shout-out to the Fat Sweat crew on the Polensky unit. Much love and big, 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 big hugs from Big Will. You already know what it is. Hug life, his life. Happy New Year, everyone that's listening. I hope you guys have a good night. Hopefully I see you and Linda tomorrow, maybe. You guys have a good night. Take care.
You too, Anjanette. I always look forward to your phone calls because you're funny.
I can be a little comedian sometimes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you can. What was it, Puffin? You call him Puffin?
Yeah, he's my Puffin. The little bird.
Puffin.
Yellow bird.
That's so cute, Puffin.
So cute. Yeah.
Well, hopefully we'll get to dance tomorrow.
Yes, we definitely will.
Okay.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, Rusty at the Estelle unit. Hey. And Renee Garcia, someone is missing your trash can kisses. Yes, indeedy. Trash can kisses at the Estelle unit. And now we have Shirley. Hey, Shirley.
Hello, how are y'all?
Doing good. How are you doing?
Just fine. I'm going to do a shout out to Blaine. Hey, Blaine, how you doing? I'm on. Your niece is going 90 to nothing, back and forth to her mama's room, her room. I mean, she's going fume, fume, like she's Superman. And she wears that Superman cape, too. But that's what she's doing. She sings happy birthday to Blaine every time she gets on the phone.
Aw.
Every day. Just about it. When she's not busy. But I love you, and keep your head up. Excuse me. I hope everything goes well tomorrow. And you guys, y'all, give a shout out to y'all. Hi. And y'all keep y'all's head up, too. I pray for all of y'all.
Do you have
And
their
all of y'all
names, Miss Shirley?
No, I still don't have them.
You still don't have them?
Now, I'm going to get them from Blaine tomorrow. I had them at one time, but my granddaughter sneaks over here and she gets my pen and my papers while I'm not sitting here, and then I can't find nothing. So I'm gonna have to find a different spot to put them.
Yes, you will.
But that's what happens to all my stuff. But we'll wish y'all a happy New Year. I hope it was a good one. I was sleeping.
Me too. I think most of us were. Well,
but I love you, Blaine. Kisses and kisses and hugs all the time. Prayers, prayers. And I love y'all too.
Well, thank you, Miss Shirley.
You're welcome.
We will hear from you next week, I'm sure.
I'm hoping.
No, you will be. You will be calling Miss Shirley. All right. Thank you, Miss Shirley.
All righty.
Okay. Her son is Meatloaf, and then they have a Loch Ness Monster, and then they have a Mothman. I've been hearing all about them. All right. Now we have Caitlin.
This is a shout out for Beto Garza in Polunsky. Hey boo, how are you? I hope that there's a smile on your handsome face. As for me, yeah, everything's going okay. I'm feeling a bit better today, and I went into work and I'm not that long home, and pardon me, I brought one of the gentlemen to a show. Yeah, we went to see Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Yeah, it was a show, so it was really good. He absolutely loved it. He was like at one point dancing in his seat and cheering. So yeah, it brought me a huge smile to see him so happy. As I said, I'm not too long home. I'm here with Daytona, and she says woof, and she wants belly rubs, which I am going to give her to her now. I'm going to see Buddy over the next few days. Just want to shake this thing completely before I go up. And yeah, other than that, everything okay. Please know that you're in my heart, thoughts and prayers, and that I'm sending you big, big hugs. And to everybody at the prison show, a big, big thank you for making this happen.
She's awesome. Love Caitlin. She's always been so nice. All right. Now, did I say Renee Garcia? Or maybe I just wanted to say trash can kisses again. Maybe that's what I wanted to do. Yeah, this is true. All right. We have Lydia on line 5.
Hi, Dani, Linda, Dave. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I just want to thank you all for all you do for us every year. You're there for us, and I'm very thankful for that. And I want to wish all the guys, you know who you are, a Happy New Year, and always the best, okay? And I hope my son has a good visit tomorrow with his cousin. She hasn't seen him in a while. And she'll be taking her 2 lovely babies to see my son. And I just hope you have a good visit with her, mijo. You know how much they love you. And and that they care for you. Okay? You have a good visit with them tomorrow, and you give me a call later. Oh, I'll be talking to Tia Rosa and Tia Janie later to help them see if they can get on this. Trying to get on that phone thing is really hard, Dani.
Yeah.
It's so difficult to get registered. It's just a show. Trying to get that done.
It's not the same thing for general population. I'm not sure why they make it so difficult for death row.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know, you have to be persistent, I guess. You just have to be persistent. But we'll get all your aunts on there, mijo, somehow. But I love you and I miss you. Give me a buzz tomorrow. And my saludos to the guys. You know who you are. And I thank each and every one of you for all your prayers. And I did receive your lovely card, mijo. I opened it today. And I do feel better. I feel lots better today. Okay? Love you. Kisses. Big hugs. And love you. Good night. Good night, everyone.
Good night, Lydia. Have a great weekend and Happy New Year again.
Thank you. Thank you. Good night.
Good night. All right. Again, 713-526-5738. We have some open lines. And now we have Mike.
Hello, this is Mysterious Mike doing his prison show shout-outs. Here's my shout-outs for tonight. The guys at Texas, Guy Alexander, Jamie Cuppett, Stephen Russell, Stephen McGee. Shout-out for Philip Perez. Paul, Lucy and Michelle want me to do a shout-out for Paul. Shout-out for Jovan, Oz, Matt, Thomas, Edward Reeves, Adam Wilkerson. Tasha wants me to do a shout-out for Payday, shout-out for Hoss, shout-out for Oz, and shout-out for Bill R. Sims. A special shout-out for Clarence Lee Bowman, shout-out for Raymond Lee Cart, and Desmond Knorr. You can continue to write in care of David Collingsworth for Mysterious Mike, and we'll write you back. So y'all have a wonderful new year, and talk to y'all later. Adios.
Okay, now how do you write to us? You can write to us at 226 Chipmunk Trail, 226 Chipmunk Trail, Shepherd, Texas, 77371. I think I've repeated that enough through the...
It's not Shepherd America?
It is Shepherd America. I was trying to... Shepherd America. Shepherd America.
Whenever I ask Siri what the temperature is whenever I'm up there, and she says that in TX, Texas, and she won't call it Shepherd for whatever reason. It's just Texas.
You see? That's funny. All right, now we have Carmela on line 4. Hey,
Good evening, Prison Show. Oops, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead with your shout out.
Good evening. I'd like to say hello to Marcus Mullen in Montgomery County Jail. I hope you're doing okay and hope you're staying warm and dry. I haven't forgot about you. I think about you often and ask Father David about you. Just hope everything's going well for you and that you had a safe New Year's Eve and that you'll have a safe and blessed New Year's this year. And I hope you keep your chin up and are able to get done what you need to get done to get your freedom back. I'd also like to say hello to my nephew, Bradley Leland Aiken. I don't know where he is. I hope he's still in, or probably still in Dallas County Jail, although it's been a good while. I still haven't gotten a hold of your mother to find out the specifics, but I'm working on the courage to call her. I just hope you had a good New Year's Eve and you're having a good year. Hope you're staying warm and dry, and hope everything's going okay for you. Just keep your head up and keep your chin up and keep your brain working. You know what they say about idle minds, but just take care and know that you're loved. I love you, even though I haven't seen you in, I don't know how long, too long, but just know you're loved. And I hope to talk to you soon. Thank you, Prison Show, for all you do, and thank you for being here as a liaison for our loved ones. And Happy New Year to the staff, and Happy New Year to all of the men and women behind bars. And I just hope that everything goes well for everybody. Thank you and good night.
Thank you, Carmela. We look forward to your phone calls every week. Thank you. You have a great weekend.
Thank you. You too. Stay warm.
You too. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Okay, now we have Zila on line 1.
Zila, line 1.
Hello?
Hi, Zila.
Hi. I just wanted to send a shout out to Terrence. I love you, babe. Keep your head up, and we'll get through this.
Okay, did you want to say anything else? You have a few minutes.
No, that's it. I just wanted to shout out. You know, I know he's hearing, listening.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. You call back next weekend.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, now we have Stacy on the line.
Your mic's like not. I don't hear you talking.
That's.
Oh, that's her.
Yeah, that's her.
That's why we don't hear her. You had. I didn't even know she. I can't see her over there.
I'm deactivated.
She was deactivated because you told me to turn Miss Linda's mic down a while ago because I guess she was coughing or whatever.
Yeah.
So a while ago she said something and I couldn't hear nothing. I'm like, there's nothing there. Did it go dead? I mean.
Well, you're supposed to know these things.
Yeah.
Well, we were announcing Stacy now. She's up.
Okay.
This is to my husband, Sporty Black at Wainwright Unit. Hey, baby love. This is wifey kissing your strength, letting you know all is well. The girls are behaving, Mimi, enjoying your weather, and that means all I've been trying to do is stay warm. But you got decent temps. I know the cell is a little bit chilly, though. Keep warm, me holding you, sweetheart. Mwah. I haven't heard from you today yet. Maybe later in the day. I trust, though, you've got our recent e-note. Boo, I'm just out here all yours, waiting to hear your voice all up in my ear. I placed a YT short on and published it on the platforms. Yeah, boo. I'm all yours. Remain healthy and safe. Stay focused and tough. Us solid and real. I love you, my husband. Mwah. Take care, sweetheart. I love you. Mwah.
All right. Now I think Stephanie has some for Miss Linda. Miss Linda wasn't feeling good.
No, she was not. So I'm going to fill in for her. All right. So we've got William Owens Sr. We have Franklin Davis, Jamie Cole, Will Spear, Paul DeVoe, Lucky Ward, Bill Sims, Miller L., and what do we got? Carrie Allen and Robert Robertson.
That's it.
That's it for today. Yes,
Yeah,
you guys need to write in if you're wanting to continue to stay on her list.
That's
So-
right. She mentioned that a few times. I think she mentioned it last week, too.
Yes.
So if y'all want Miss Linda to continue to shout out to you, let her know. Write to 226 Chipmunk Trail, Shepherd, America, 77371. We'll see if David gets us the letters or not.
Yeah, I'm going to give y'all digital copies this week.
Yeah. He sent me copies of the envelopes during the week. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, but it's weird. We got 2 from December. And then one of them was like January the 2nd. Like just, the day I got it, it was like 2 days old. But it's just kind of weird.
Well, you're kind of weird.
I guess that's 2 peas in a pod then. Huh?
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah, but I mean, some of the cards and stuff are like, aren't they getting them like 2 and 3 months later?
Yeah, but that's through the Dallas P.O. box. That's why.
So then you wouldn't think that they would have a lot of mail to go through at the mailroom, and so why would it take a whole month to get a letter?
Really? It's the mail room. I think every unit has a problem with their mail room.
They fall asleep.
They have to go through all the e-messages.
Oh, my word.
I know. I know. They get tired.
Yeah.
They get tired. All right. We have Karina on line 1. Hey, Karina.
Good evening. Hi. I'm so sorry. Can you hear me a little better?
Yes. Yes, you sound great.
Yes. Thank you. Happy New Year's to you guys.
Happy New Year.
How's it going? Happy New Year's. I just want to send a shout out to Facundo Chavez. Just want to let him know that I love him and I miss him, and I am a little sick right now. So hopefully I get to feel better here soon. And I just want to wish you guys and all the staff on the radio a Happy New Year's and a new beginning of the year.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. And Happy New Year's to you, too. Hopefully this year will be wonderful.
Of course, it has to be wonderful. We have to make it wonderful, and hopefully soon I get to meet the staff from the radio. I really would like to go and visit.
Oh, that sounds... We would love to have you. Love to have you.
Yes, hopefully I could go see y'all on a Friday, and I could be there at the radio station with y'all.
Yeah, that sounds good.
But I will be in touch, and I will send you a message either through Facebook and see if we could get a little organized and see when it's a good time for me to go visit. And Facundo, don't forget how much I love you, baby. Thank you, guys. You have a great night and a great weekend.
You too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, now we have Freddie. Hi, Freddie.
Freddie.
Freddie on line 2?
Maybe. Hey, Freddie.
Hello.
Freddie.
I'm here.
Okay, now you're here. All right, go.
Yeah, we were having issues with dropping people whenever we have one on the air and one she's asking questions of, and we're trying to solve that issue. So please forgive us for being tardy.
Oh,
it's okay.
No problem.
I'm
Let me shout out my brother James Dudley over at the Wallace Pack, and everybody else is there with him. Green, Viv, Terry, all you guys, man. Miss you guys, man. You guys are really good friends, man, and I keep shouting y'all out. Keep your head up. New Year's gonna be better, and you got to call it to insist it though. You got to make it look, look at it from a positive perspective. And what else can we say, man? Happy New Year and Merry Christmas. I forgot to say it before, or I did, but I'll say it again. And y'all be good, man. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Freddie.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now, one of my favorite people in the whole wide world is on line 3, Nadine. Hey, Nadine.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
How are you? Everything. I heard that Miss Linda is at home today.
Yeah, she's not
She's
feeling
okay?
good. Yeah, she was here earlier, but She's not feeling too good, so she left.
Okay. Okay. So I will call her tomorrow. Okay. I'm so happy. I'm so happy that this year began really, really beautiful for me, and I'm just can I say? I'm just out with my mind because it's fantastic, you know. So I want to send a shout out for my husband, Eugene Broxton. Uncle Hippie, are you there or are you sleeping? Well, I was so happy to hear your voice. It was beautiful present for last Christmas. You have no idea, Boo. It was my day was just beautiful then. I get yesterday all your letters. Yes, we are already here. We are already on Saturday, so yesterday. And all your letters come up together. So I will answer them, my love. I'm keeping strong, Boo, after that news. Trust me, I'm feeling again like a rock. I ask all my friends to be in the courthouse on the 16th, 17th, 18th to support your hearing. It would be so, so great. So thank you, Gloria Ruback, to mention it in your letter. I want to send a shout out in Anvil to my brother, Dwayne Buck. Thank you, bro, for your letter. I will answer really quick. And more shout out in Polonsky to Chong Tong, Big White, Luis Perez, Ali, Spider. To you, Kenneth Foster, I don't forget you, but the list is so long. But be sure, guys, that you are all of you in my prayers. And to end, I want to send my love again to my husband. I love you, Eugene, and I'm just happy. I'm sure about 2024, it will be a great year for us. I'm sure about that. I want to thank you, Radio KPFT, and hear you next week. Bye-bye, Dani. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye. You too. Happy New Year.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Nadine.
Happy New Year. Bye-bye, David. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. She's awesome. We love it when she's here. Love it. All right. Again, 713-526-5738. Option number 2 to leave a shout out. But I'm going to do a few shout outs for myself. I've got Roderick Harris. Hey, Roderick. And Jeff Pribble. He is my second biggest fan. Actually, he's my true biggest fan. He's awesome. He is awesome. Britt Rapowski, how you doing? Farron, one of my best friends, Farron. Paul DeVoe. Yes, DeVoe. Mm-hmm. Everyone always hears me talk about DeVoe. Can you believe Paul? Creeper and T. Hey, T. Irvin. Big Head. Blaine. Or wait, is it Meatloaf? I think it's Meatloaf. Yeah, I think he's Meatloaf. Rue, Moy, Leroy at the PAC unit, Larry at the Huntsville unit, Jay Van Story at the Win unit, and of course, Joel at the Win unit. Joel White over at the, they call it the Memorial Unit now. I keep wanting to say Darrington, yeah. Mm-hmm. And Rusty at the Estelle Unit, along with, let's see, Renee Garcia. I'm going to bring that up again just because it makes me giggle. Trash Can Kisses. Trash Can Kisses. I think I remember that story. And then, of course, I have Rexalicious. Rexalicious over at one of those units. One of those units yonder. I sent him a calendar this year for Christmas, and it was tree goats. Every year I send him, okay. Yeah, I send him, like, one year it was the dogs pooping.
Okay.
The entire calendar was just pooping dogs. And I I just send him various.
Was that your choice of calendar or his?
No, it's mine.
Okay.
It's completely mine. A couple of years ago, I sent him chickens.
Okay.
And it was, the words, the jokes were, wow, you have that, well.
What?
I know. Well, they were joking with him. Look at that big.
Oh. I think you can say it in that context, maybe.
You think?
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad thing. I mean, we were talking about Pussy Riot. I don't know how many times that time. You remember that?
Well, yeah, but that's a band. Okay.
Oh, well.
They were saying, oh.
Why do you think we named? I got a rooster that we named Randy.
Oh my God.
And Dee Dee says, "Why do you call him Randy?" I said, "Sit out there by the chicken coop and watch him for a little while."
That's Randy. Yeah. Well, I didn't realize when I sent him the chicken calendar that he put it in his locker. He's like, no. Everybody's picking at me about, damn, Rex, that's a really
big chicken.
Yeah, it's a really big chicken. A big hairy chicken or a long chicken.
Well,
You ever
not
seen
allowed to
those-
open it before sending it, so you didn't know any better.
Yeah. You ever seen the big statues they got a lot of people put them in their front yard or whatever?
Yes.
And I tease Dee Dee all the time, tell her how big. There's you big.
Oh my God. I love sending, like for instance, DeVoe. DeVoe asked for a calendar.
And you send him a calendar with all those on it.
I know. He's got something else coming. So be prepared, DeVoe.
Well, luckily you don't need to send calendars to my husband.
No, yeah. I mean, I can.
No, that's okay. I got it covered.
When people ask me for that kind of stuff, I'm like, that's just an open door.
Yes.
I need to send, because normally a lot of the guys want, that's what Rex was telling me. Everyone around him either had car calendars or calendars with women in bikinis, and he's walking around with tree goats.
You're funny.
He's like, you have to be different. Yes, I do. Yes, I
Well,
do.
you shouldn't march to the beat of everybody else's drummers.
That's true.
No, I shouldn't. And you know what? I have something that I should have brought this evening. Beto. I can't pronounce Beto.
Beto Garza or Beto
Yes.
Unit?
No, Garza.
Oh.
He sent me a list of all the positive things going on death row. Like the past year, a lot of things happened in 2023. A lot of sad things, but a lot of positive things. I don't have that list with me because I was going to read it next week. But off the top of my head, I mean, just the the tablets, their ability to call, make phone calls, that is huge.
But it didn't. I hear somewhere that Andy Kahn is protesting the tablets.
Yes, for death row, and that was because of an incident with the pizza
being announced.
Yeah, the pizza being announced, but something positive. And Andy Kahn doesn't want anything positive at all. And he has to understand that even though, there are also murderers in general population who have the same exact or more rights than what death row.
Privileges.
Yeah, their privileges. So I don't think I've watched him. He does a lot of different shows, like KPRC has something, and he does that. And the bitterness that and I get it. Being someone whose family member was murdered, I understand.
He had a family member that was murdered.
No, I.
Oh,
I do.
Yeah,
So I
Dee Dee did too. So Dee Dee and I have had this conversation because I do the prison show, and here she had a loved one that got murdered. And I told her that the prison show is about the whole prison industrial complex. And maybe we should have more victims' rights things on here. But, I mean, it's just...
There's so many victim rights. You know, and I'm coming from the perspective that my family member was murdered. So I get it. But there's so many different types of those programs out there. There's so many things that assist victims' rights.
But two wrongs don't make a right. Just because you're a victim or a family of a whatever doesn't mean that you should be a hater as well.
Exactly. There's no room. And he, even when he comes on TV, he just automatically just jumps in this hateful, you know, there's nothing that when you exhibit those traits, you make everyone around you, you know, feel that
yeah, well, a lot of people feel that anyway because and I don't want to make it sound like I'm just bad-mouthing everybody, but it's out of ignorance because they don't know any better. There's a lot of worldly opinions, hang them high, we're better off without them and all this other stuff. But I mean, they're not really looking at it from everybody's a victim. There's a victim on both sides of the coin.
All
it's not
sides.
just
Yeah, it is.
And the guys have loved ones that are going through a lot of anguish and hurt and
they did nothing
yeah
wrong.
So they're a victim as well.
I was watching a show, and I know many of the men on death row will remember him, Richard Cobb. There was the BBC did a show about Richard, and him and Bianca Adams shot 2 people from a convenience store. One of them survived, and when they interviewed her, she was of the opinion that if they had executions in stadiums for people to watch, that would be better. And,
like the Romans?
Yeah.
Gladiators?
Yeah, and, you know, I mean, as we know, Richard was executed. So, when the bitterness just continues. If you have hate in your heart, that you will just continue with that hatred. It seeps from your pores. So,
right.
I mean,
Well, that's a good perspective for people to see too, though, because a lot of times when we're fighting on each side of it, whether on the victim side or on the inmate side, even though we're saying it is, we come at it with an angry tone or a aggressive tone, and it just sets a wrong environment for everybody around us. So we have to find a way to do it in a more positive, informative way rather than bringing our emotions into it.
You know, sometimes, and I agree with you. Mm-hmm. I agree with you. But like for Gloria and well, she's one of my idols. Gloria and me and Dedicated. Joy, we've been out there for so many years, and we have been yelled at. We have, the things that we have attacked. Yes. Mm-hmm. I mean, I can't. So many things have happened through the years, and so we automatically get. Yeah, I mean, I'm like, come on. I'm
playing offense.
Yeah, I mean,
defense.
I'm very defensive when I'm out there protesting, because we expect people to, and they never want to stop. They always drive by.
Oh, yes.
Just drive by. And I'm like, get out. Come over here. Talk to me. Oh, yeah. I mean, I think you saw me.
She's going to throw her walker at him.
I know. I'm going to throw it at him. Come over here.
I'm like,
but
no.
They just keep going. They don't stop. It's like, okay, we're out here. Most of us are older. I'm going to use that, older. We're older. So it's like, if we're out here in the open, Get out your truck. Get out your car. You want to say something? Come on. Say something.
Yeah.
But they
I
just.
don't know.
Have you formally introduced Stephanie?
Hi, Stephanie.
I mean, she's over there talking, and this is what, your second or third week?
Third.
This is my third week. I'm filling in for Linda.
Now she's filling in for Linda, and there's probably somebody out there thinking, who is that?
And this is
A new voice.
a new voice. She joined us to help with the cameras and just to help, right? You're just here helping.
I'm
And
just
she's-
helping out.
She's doing an excellent job on the cameras with Marcus. Marcus has been teaching her everything. So
Well, when's she get her exam?
I will have it printed up and ready for you. Next week, you will have an exam.
I'm ready.
Yeah, I think it's an on-the-spot exam, though. There's no written nothing.
There really isn't.
There really isn't.
We need written. We need written.
Yeah.
So you're married to...
I'm married. My husband, Gary, is at Polonsky Unit. He's a field minister. And I don't know. We've been married, well, almost 6 years, 5 years now. And I don't know. I'm just here to help out.
Yeah.
Drives a long way, though.
Who, me?
Yeah.
To come here? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about 3.5 hours. It's not too bad.
Not too bad. I thought my 68 miles was something.
Well, I used to drive 4 hours one way to visit every weekend, so I think I can handle an hour and a half drive to the prison show.
Because she likes us.
Well, I'm glad she likes us.
And we have Jamie on line 1.
Hi, how are y'all?
Doing good. How are you?
All right, thank you so much. Well, I want to do a shout out to my husband, Harry Reyna, and my son, Joseph Salazar. I want to tell y'all good night. I love y'all both, and sweet dreams. And I will be out to see y'all, babe. I'm waiting for you to get where you're going. Hopefully you be out soon. And I love you, and I hope you feel better. I know you're sick. I'll be thinking about you and praying for you. And, son, I love you, son. If you're listening, I love you, and we'll see you soon, too, okay? Good night. Love y'all both. Thank y'all. Y'all have a blessed night.
You too. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. Likewise. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And, we used to have a regular caller, Paula, but Bobby Woods got out. He sent me an email telling me that he was getting out, and his son is over at the Polonsky Unit, and he sends his love, and he cannot wait to call to do a shout out for his son. But I'm sure that there's so much going on right now, him just getting out after, I think he said 26 years.
Wow.
When did he get out?
Sometime this week, I believe. I think it was sometime this week.
So he's busy eating Whataburgers.
Probably, yeah, more than likely.
All the burgers.
All the burgers. Just put them all right here. All right. You know what? Quite a few of the guys that I've known that have gotten out, they wanted salad.
Yeah.
I'm like, really?
Take him to Jason's Deli.
Oh my God, that's where Don went. He
Yeah.
went to Jason's Deli.
Oh no,
Well-
we're doing barbecue.
Yeah, but Jason's Deli's got the salad bar, and you can get the boiled eggs and everything you want. It's fresh. It's a fresh salad bar. If you got salad in prison, trust me, the lettuce was wilted, and you might have got a grasshopper in there.
Ew.
So they don't hardly serve lettuce in prison, because how are you going to serve salad for 3,000 men? I mean, it just.
Well, at Polonsky, you can buy during visitation. We can buy them salads.
And how fresh is it in the?
It's actually pretty good.
Not for when death row goes to visit. It's usually it's $5 for
one salad
for wilted. It's brown at the bottom, but it is salad.
Oh, y'all are at the end of the day. That's why. See, I go straight Saturday morning, first thing.
Yeah, no, we're at the end of the day. Y'all get the I'm still upset that they didn't give death row pictures for Christmas.
Oh, they didn't?
No, they gave general population
They did.
pictures on Saturday and Sunday, but Saturday night they told the officers no pictures for death row. And it's like, I was like, what? Why? Because we were told not to.
Somebody just being mean.
Well, that was, I think, the same time frame that Andy Kahn. So I think everybody was like, whoop.
Well,
You know, he tends to throw a wrench into everything.
Hayburn didn't like him.
Really? Yeah, most people don't like him.
Hayburn filed a grievance whenever he was at like HPD or whatever, and he said that he lied. I don't know. He had some kind of evidence, I guess, and it sure is. And he doesn't work for HPD anymore, so.
No, he doesn't. But he works for Crime Stoppers.
Yeah, well, that's a private organization, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah,
it
it
loves
is.
So-
loud voices.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the victims do need a voice. I mean, I'm not opposed to him having a career, but and if that's how he feels that he needs to do it, then,
Right.
you know. But
So, in case
I
y'all...
still don't think two wrongs make a right.
Absolutely not. Like I say when we're out there protesting, we don't rape the rapist. We don't steal from the thieves. And we shouldn't kill...
Yeah, that just doesn't make sense to me.
No, it doesn't. Real quick, in case people did not know, TDCJ is doing a mainframe update. So some things won't be available, like y'all going to commissary, from what I understand. But we can do e-coms out here. And it said that the e-com website would be open, straight. They wouldn't be closing it. I
Okay.
saw that on a site. And they got some beef and jalapeno sticks. They got a whole mess of new stuff on there. But the coffee's still $4.50.
Yeah.
$4.50.
$4.50 for coffee?
For a bag of coffee. Ooh, Lord.
So,
It's a necessity.
Stephanie, what's going on tomorrow?
Tomorrow. Oh, at the bowling alley?
Yeah, you want to make an announcement?
Sure.
Go ahead.
All right. So tomorrow from 4 to 6, we're having a free bowling event for anyone's family who wants to drive out to Livingston, Texas. It's going to be at the Goki Bowling Alley. You can sign up at our website, which is www.death2lifeprisonministries.org. And the 2 is a number 2. So death2lifeprisonministries.org/events. And it just let us know, how many kids, how many adults. We will have goodie bags for the kids. We're going to do some raffling. Got like 5 or 6 gift cards going out tomorrow. It's going to have a good time. We'll have pizza, drinks. Just a time for everybody to come together and have some fun. So hope to see everybody there.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of fun. And I wanted to shout out to Ivan Cantu. He has an execution date on February the 28th. His new website launched today, ivancantu.org. ivancantu.org. I'm going to post it on the Prison Show's Facebook this weekend. But remember, ivancantu.org. So his execution is... And, of course, his
Where's his
podcast...
pills? Are all of his pills
Yeah,
exhausted?
Well, I think they have things planned.
Right.
They have things planned. But remember his podcast, Cousins by Blood. Cousins by Blood. And his new website, ivancantu.org. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
So you're a big fan?
I am a big fan of saving someone's life.
Yeah, there you go.
Amen.
So that thing that the lady that you announced and wanted everybody to contact, did you get a lot of response from that?
Help me. Which one?
You posted on not only on Prison Show, but you posted on Death Row Angels. Her name was Kelly something. It's not ringing a bell?
No.
I should have been better prepared before I asked you. You put the thing out there and told everybody to contact that lady.
That doesn't. Oh my God.
All right.
Let me. So I put it on.
You put it on the Prison Show Facebook page, and then you shared it on Death Row Angels.
I share everything on the Death Row Angels.
Yeah.
Well, if my phone worked, I would be able to.
I'm pretty sure her
look
name
that
was
up.
Kelly. You told everybody to contact her.
Huh.
Yeah, it was last week you did that, so that's why I was trying to follow up with it.
Oh, last week.
Oh, you slept since then.
Yes. I don't know. I have the bowling thing. Please share this. Oh, Kelly Ziegler.
There you go, Kelly Ziegler.
Yeah. Yeah.
I found it about the same time you did.
Yeah. Of course, people have been. That's for Jeff Pribble. Shout out to Jeff Pribble again. Yeah.
Jailhouse Snitches.
Jailhouse Snitches.
Yeah.
Ooh, man. She's something else.
Yep. Did they use Snitch 60s?
Do what?
You know what a Snitch 60 is?
Oh. I was like, did he sneeze? What is it?
Snitch 60.
Bless your heart.
Guys down there, they'll snitch. They'll write an I-60 and drop it in the mailbox.
Absolutely, they will.
Yeah, Snitch 60 is what Ray always called it.
That's a good one.
Instead of having the cojones to actually just come out and snitch, they're going to write it like they're anonymous.
Yeah, and of course they well anyone out here snitching too, but especially that, yeah.
Yeah, Snitch 60s. So anyway, what time is it? We got any time left?
10:56.
You got 4 minutes.
Well,
actually a minute.
Yeah, I think I usually start closing about now.
Yeah.
So, you know what? I kind of looked up because I was curious because I'm on the bike tonight. So guess what I get to listen to on the ride home?
You get to listen
to Cnvrge. Yeah. So I was kind of looking to see what kind of things they have on their playlist. Believe it or not, they have a song by Captain Hook and Ace Ventura. Isn't that pretty cool?
Interesting. I'm
Yep.
afraid to find out.
The name of the song is EBE Protonic Remix. They have a guy, Patrick Berg, and the name of the song is New Era. Kiki Sauvage, and the name of his song is Psy, just PSY. And Farrago. Horror House is the name of the song by, it's an artist by the grand finale of the Femme Fatale. So, I mean, it's kind of cool, you know. I mean, it's techno music, so it's straight out of college. So I guess it'd be like going to a rave or something, right? So, but I crank it up on the bike, and it helps keep me awake on the ride home. And it's going to be a cold night, so I better crank it up real loud. So y'all stay tuned for Cnvrge. They'll be coming on here in a little bit. And in the meantime, we're going to go out with Charlie and the Regrets.
Have a great weekend, everyone.
Daddy, I'm coming to see you at visiting hours next week. Mama ain't been doing too well, I'll tell you more keep your heads up. You ain't beat if you got home.